Hi there, everyone. This is Dan Dix here, reporting for Press for Truth, coming at you here in Acapulco, Mexico. And I'm joined right now with my friend Jason Basler of the Free Thought Project. So, first of all, thanks for taking some time to speak with us today. You know, folks, a lot of people often see people like myself or, Luke Radowski, others who are here in front of the camera doing things, but there are a lot of activists who are doing big things behind the scenes that sometimes you don't really get to see who these guys are, and Jason is one of these individuals. So first of all, tell us a little bit about what is the Free Thought Project and why did you start it?
Sure. I just wanted to also say thanks for taking the time to do this interview, Dan. I've been a big fan of your work and Press for Truth for a long time, so it's awesome that you've taken the time to do this with me. But yeah, the Free Thought Project basically started with a couple of people, activists, liberty-minded people who more or less just wanted to kind of reach people on the social media side of things and try to reach bigger numbers than we possibly would maybe doing protests or direct action or whatever. So from there, we kind of expanded and brought on more writers and more social media networking team and kind of just built it up from there. And I think at this point we're somewhere around 570,000 fans. And that's just one of our Facebook pages as well. And that is our organization, but that's just one of our Facebook pages. And we have quite a network of Facebook pages that are all kind of together. We share a network and all that stuff. So
We've gotten huge quickly and the reach is very, very big. What for you was the inspiration? I mean, we all have our awakening process, so to speak. So, what for you got you to the point of wanting to do this, full time and getting involved in this movement to the degree that you are?
Sure, absolutely. My waking up process probably started around 2011, and I was working in Los Angeles, had a job that I hated. I knew there was more subconsciously that there was to life, and I was just kind of stuck in the rut of working in 9 to 5 every day and kind of getting burnt out on life. So the funniest thing happened. I've always been a tech nerd. I've always loved technology. So I ended up investing and saving up a few bucks for an iPad. And surprisingly, it was just that one act that kind of transformed everything. I started getting more involved into YouTube, realizing it wasn't just for prank videos and cat videos and shit like that. It was actually substance there. And if you kind of reached it into the right directions, you could educate yourself and in turn empower yourself with a lot of this information. People like yourself, Luke Radowski, Adam Kokesh were all instrumental to even my coming up, waking up and everything. So it's that's where it all started. I from there built a couple Facebook pages. At the same time, the Occupy movement was happening, and that was kind of one thing that inspired me because I saw people kind of similar looking to me and maybe my age range or whatever, and they were out there on the streets protesting. And I think specifically what it was that kind of got me engaged was the fact that the police were so heavy-handed trying to silence dissent, trying to silence the protesters and their First Amendment rights. So to me, that started making my blood boil. I saw the police manhandling, all types of people, women, children, elderly, and throwing them around. And to me, that was all it took to kind of realize that I need to do something personally. Like, I need to get involved one way or another, even if I have to start from the bottom up to educate myself. That's exactly what I did. So I started there and just absorbed as much information as I could, and started building Facebook pages and Twitter accounts, Tumblr accounts, anything I could kind of get my hand on, because at that point I was free. I was broke. So these outlets were free. I could very easily take advantage of them and just try to start, once again, networking and trying to build an audience of people that were interested and maybe not even interested, people that were kind of outside of the spectrum, and potentially could influence them in one way or another.
I think there's a lot of people like you who woke up to the police state and the corruption and decided, okay, it's time that, I've learned enough here. It's time to actually step up and do something about this. So for the activists and the people out there who have been doing this for quite a while, but maybe are on the fence about jumping in and really getting involved, what sort of advice might you have for people out there who are thinking, I want to get involved like Dan or like Jason? What are some of the things that they can do?
Well, I think, first of all, it's just recognizing that passion and that fire inside about these issues. If you know that one of these issues, anything within the activist realm or any specific niche that kind of resonates with you, if you recognize that, you could take that and kind of shift that energy into a bigger, you could take it and grow from that. You could harness that, once again, harness that energy and expand upon it. And I think once we get to the point where we could self-educate, we empower ourselves, and then from there we can inspire each other. And we all have different types of creative outlets. We all have different types of ambitions. We all have something to add one way or another. And I think if we all kind of come together and put our minds together in one way or another, whether it be poetry, music, activism in the streets, all these things, it's going to kind of compound this awakening process for everybody. And it seems like it's happening.
And now this is literally your full-time gig, right? Like this is what you do. So what's an average day like for Jason Basler?
Unfortunately, it's not very exciting. I spend a lot of time in front of the computer, as you can imagine. I'm sure you do as well, Dan. But we go from there. We do a lot of, like I said, networking with other outlets. The antimedia.org is one of our favorite allies within this fight, and we've been networking with them for years now. It's just more or less trying to reach out to the activist community, and anytime we can do like events like this and reach out. And this is the first time I ever met Dan, so this has been awesome for me to network with all these different people. And if we could help each other out and kind of steer traffic and steer the audiences into different directions of all this type of information, it's going to be beneficial for everybody.
That's the beautiful thing, too, I think, about the Free Thought Project, is it really is kind of bringing all these ideas, these articles, these people together. And, that's what's important in this movement is, like you said, networking with one another and working together. This isn't a competition. We all have to work with one another, and we're going to get the job done. So, for the people who may be just hearing about your site for the first time, what are the social media links? What is the sites? And people who want to get involved or support your work, where do they go to donate or get involved?
Sure. We have a whole slew of Facebook pages once again, but I think if you just go to our main website, www.thefreethoughtproject.com, that would probably be the most advantageous. Go from there. You can sign up to our mail subscription, and basically at this point, like we don't want donations. We don't want anybody trying to help us. We just want people empowering themselves and taking that step into the next level of activism or whatever it may be, social media activism, online internet activism, or whatever they feel comfortable with. And I think that's kind of the key, is that not all of us have all these different skills. Some people don't feel comfortable speaking in public. Some people don't feel comfortable standing on the street with a sign and possibly being berated by people walking by or whatever. But whatever it may be, we all have something to offer. So if it's simple as just starting a Facebook page, maybe a specific niche that you're passionate about, that you very much care about, and just going from there. And once again, just harnessing that fire inside, because that's really where it comes from. And with that being said, too, though, I also want to mention that it's very important to find the balance, because it is very easy, as Dan and I could both tell the audience, it's easy to get burnt out. And so you definitely have to find a balance in all aspects of life. But certainly with this stuff, because it is a lot of heavy information, sometimes it's very negative, so don't ever not allow yourself the time to find the beauty and magic in life, because oftentimes it just gets very overwhelming when you get into this arena.
Yeah. Well, you, to me, is proof positive that this can be done if you take that initiative and just dive in headfirst and just go for it, because you've proven that it's possible if you just make it happen. You're reaching millions of people now because you took the initiative to go for it. So I want to thank you for doing that. And folks, be sure to check the links in the description. If you're not familiar with them yet, you better get on it. Jason Basler, thanks so much for talking to us.
Awesome. Thank you, Dick.